the gem of the Supreme Buddha. The Buddha is my refuge every day. My homage to the gem of the Supreme Dhamma. The Dhamma is my refuge every day. My homage to the gem of the Supreme Sangha. The Sangha is my refuge every day. My homage to the Supreme Triple Gem. The Triple Gem is my refuge every day. Namo Buddhaya. Meritorious children, in the ordinary world, we all like to stay clean. And how do we try to stay clean? We try to stay clean physically by taking a shower or bathing or keeping our clothes tidy. But the Supreme Buddha explains that beings become unclean when their mind becomes unclean. With the purification of the mind, beings become purified. What did the Blessed One say? The Blessed One explained that beings become unclean when their mind is overcome by defilements. How do they become clean? How do they become purified? They become purified when their mind is purified. Now, meritorious children, what does this mean? In the ordinary world, this is not how we purify ourselves. We purify ourselves usually just physically. We don't realize when our mind is unclean that we ourselves become unclean, do we? In a beautiful sutta, the Supreme Buddha explains, suppose there's a cloth that's stained, that's unclean. The Blessed One explains, suppose a dyer comes and he tries to dye that unclean cloth with stains in it. What do you think would happen? Do you think that dyer would be able to dye it properly? No. The Blessed One explains, since that cloth is stained, since it's dirty, since it's unclean, the dye does not get absorbed properly. What's the reason? The reason being that cloth is unclean. That cloth has stains in it. It's dirty. And in the same way, the Supreme Buddha explains, when our mind is unclean, when there are defilements in our mind, we're not able to absorb the Dhamma in the right way. When our mind is unclean, no matter how much we wish to understand the Dhamma, no matter how much we try to realize the Dhamma, we aren't capable of understanding and realize the Blessed One's Dhamma. And then the Supreme Buddha explains the opposite. The Supreme Buddha explains, O bhikkhus, suppose there's a clean cloth. That cloth is clean, there are no stains in it, there's no dirt in it. And suppose a dyer comes and he dyes this cloth, what would happen? Since that cloth is clean, the dye gets absorbed very well. The Supreme Buddha explains, in the same way, when our mind is clean, when our mind is purified, we're able to absorb this Dhamma very well. Now, meritorious children, the Supreme Buddha explained that in its true nature, this mind is truly purified. What did the Blessed One say? The Blessed One explained that in its true nature, this mind is truly purified. But because of external defilements, because of external things, this mind gets impure. This mind becomes unclean. Meritorious children, what are these external things that makes our mind impure? What do you think? The Blessed One explains, anger is a defilement that makes our mind impure, unclean. Stinginess, becoming stingy, greed, is a defilement that makes our mind impure. The Blessed One explains, jealousy, envy is another defilement, an external defilement that makes our mind unclean, makes our mind impure. Being stubborn, being in rivalry with each other, these are all defilements that makes our mind impure. Being arrogant, being egoistic, the Blessed One explains, these are defilements that makes our mind impure. Meritorious children, what you must realize then is, for as long as we have these unwholesome things in our mind, are we able to understand Dhamma? Would we be capable of realizing the Dhamma? No. The Blessed One explains, for as long as our mind is unclean, we cannot absorb the Dhamma well. We cannot truly, completely realize the Dhamma. So then, what should we do? Yes, our goal must be to make our mind pure. Our goal must be to make our mind clean. And so in order to do that, we must follow the path to doing so. The Supreme Buddha has explained, when you get angry, you must spread loving kindness. When you spread loving kindness, those thoughts of anger disappears from your mind. How do you spread loving kindness? You think, may I be free from anger. May I be free from ill will. May all beings in this world live happily. May they be well. In this way, you spread thoughts of loving kindness to all beings in this world. The Supreme Buddha explains, when you do so, thoughts of anger in your mind slowly disappears and you'll be able to purify your mind. When you feel hatred, when you feel anger, then what should you do? The next time you get angry, the next time you feel hatred, you must become mindful and realize, at this moment, my mind is becoming unclean. Then I must try to make my mind clean. I must try to purify my mind. And you must start to spread loving kindness to all beings in this world. If you get angry with a certain person, then you can start by spreading loving kindness to that person. And little by little, you can widen the area. You can think, may I be free from anger. May my friends be free from anger. May all beings in this village be free from anger. And in this way, you can expand the area and you can think, may all beings in the northern direction be free from anger. May all beings in the eastern direction be free from anger. And may all beings in the 10 directions be free from anger, be free from hatred. May they live happily. Meritorious children, when you practice this loving kindness meditation, you'll be able to get rid of anger, because the Blessed One has taught us that spreading loving kindness without a doubt helps us to get rid of anger in our mind. Not only that, sometimes we feel jealous of others. When we feel jealous of others, the Blessed One explains, we must spread thoughts of altruistic joy. Now we know sometimes when we see others do better than us in school, we feel jealous. But the Blessed One explains, O bhikkhus, when you feel jealous, you must think of others' success and be happy. So the Supreme Buddha explains, this is how you must think. You must think, first you must think, may I have a long lifespan. May my appearance grow. May I live a comfortable life. May I live a happy life. and may my fame grow. In this way, you must first spread altruistic joy to yourself and expand it to others. You must think, may my friends get a long lifespan. May they do well in school. May they live happily. May they live a comfortable life. May their fame spread. And may their wisdom grow. In this way, you must spread altruistic joy. May all beings in this world get a long lifespan. May they live happily. May they live beautifully. May their appearance grow. In this way, when you practice altruistic joy, thoughts of jealousy disappears and your mind becomes purified. And then the Supreme Buddha explains, in order to get rid of stinginess, you must practice giving. You must practice generosity. Whatever it is you have, whether it be small or big, valuable or not so valuable, if you can give it to another person and be happy when you see others use things that belong to you, the Blessed One explains, and you can get rid of the trait of stinginess. You can purify your mind. And when you find yourself being stubborn, when you find yourself not listening to your parents, your teachers, that means you're thinking that your opinion is what's right. The Blessed One explains, you must be mindful of this and try to be obedient, because when you become obedient, then you're purifying your mind. And the Supreme Buddha explains, sometimes we are in rivalry with each other. When someone says something, we talk back to that person. The Supreme Buddha explains, in such situations, you must be patient. You must be patient and stop yourself from talking back or doing things against each other. In this way, meritorious children, when you try to purify your mind in the way the Blessed One has taught, then you'll be able to completely purify your mind from those defilements. And when those defilements aren't found within your mind, then your mind is clean. When your mind is clean, now you have prepared your mind to realize the Dhamma. With a purified mind, when you listen to the Dhamma well, you're able to understand the Dhamma. And when you understand the Dhamma, you realize for yourself that I have gotten rid of all these defilements from my mind by following my teacher's advice. Then you feel, oh, then my great teacher, the Supreme Buddha, without a doubt, eradicated all these defilements from his heart, from his mind. Then indeed, the Blessed One is an Arahant. The Supreme Buddha eradicated desire, hatred and delusion, and you form an unshakable confidence towards the Supreme Buddha, the Dhamma and the Sangha. And that happiness you get through the unwavering confidence in the Supreme Buddha, Dhamma and the Sangha, meritorious children, that happiness helps you to calm your mind. It helps you to concentrate your mind.